over 100 here in quarter and a half.
This is even a broken play because the guard and the fullback ran into each other. I think the fullback's supposed to kick out on the end, and the
ball back, trailing 13-7. And this is Clarett, tripped up and stopped about a yard short of the first. Clarett, and he has got play action, steps up, got away from one defender, then throws it long, and it is intercepted at the 30-yard line. He threw it into triple coverage, trying to get it to corner, and Steve. Third down, and they went the first down, so they're going to go to Clarett. 40, 45, into McKinley territory, still on his feet, down to the 38-yard line, and now flags go in. Matt Prentice with the boot, and we're underway on this gorgeous Saturday night. Clarett runs kicks back two.
Look out.
Look at him
Look
go.
out.
40, midfield, my heavens, does he have talent? 30, 20, Maurice Clarett dives, did he get in? Touchdown, Warren Harding. Then we got a flag down back at the 25-yard line. Back, third down and 13. And Phillips, the sophomore, setting up a little screen to Clarett. Clarett outside and breaks the tackle down the sideline and finally pulled down at the 10-yard line.
I think the guy's getting a little tired because he just returned a kickoff 90 yards, and now he's got the slip pass or the dump pass to him, and he's got to run some more. This is really not a screen. They just
threw it out there too.
Yeah, they just dumped the ball to him and let him run. There's no blockers.
No red shirts either.
Yeah, one lineman trying to get down to help him, but it's not really a screen.
You know, if you come too direct at him, he can just step around you.
Yes, and they'll bounce off of his thighs. Plus, he has enough speed that he can run by you also. 18 for 162. That other one is going to be a pass completion to him and add another
2-yard line. And it's going to be Maurice Clarett. Flag goes down. So
many times Harding's been on the turf.
Give to Clarett.
Tell you one thing,
back.
The turf.
Offset eye, and they're going back to their bread and butter. Clarett and McKinley really swarming now. He's reversing his field. Clarett.
Penalty.
Down about the 40. Kicks away.
Outran the ball.
Taken at the 44-yard line. Montgomery, who can scoot midfield. 40, 30. Montgomery looking for a block. Touch behind it. Touchdown, Montgomery. Took it at the 44. Goes 56 yards.
Clarett caught him at the pylon, but it was in the end.
But they have slowed him down. Last 4 carries. Here he comes again. Boy, look at that stiff arm. And he's still about the 42, maybe the 43. About 3 yards, second down 7. And Clarett again. And he just powers his way to about the 46. They met him about the 49. Moving in the third, first and 10 Warren. They lead it by 2 points. And here comes Clarett again. 40, 35, down to the 31. Looks to be another first down.
He's kind of like what Michael Vick is for Virginia Tech. Coach Frank Beamer from Virginia Tech said they call 2 plays. One is the play they send in, and the other is the play that Michael Vick turns it into. And that's exactly what these guys do. He was supposed to go up inside, hit the ball, and ran right into the unbalanced trips.
They're going to do it again. Yep. Clarett coming outside, cuts it back 15, and Chad Anderson's over there to put him down.
That's his fake to the fullback, and then turn and just pitch the ball out to the left. No blockers, just run for the corner.
It's inside the 1. The back of the football is on the 1-yard line as we go here, and Heron goes in almost on
designated blockers.
Now they just want to hang on to the ball, and Anderson hits Clarett. But McKinley's problem.
A little bit of trouble, though. Look for a blitz.
Shotgun. Probably go to corner. Out and up. Or out pattern. There it is.
Oh,
and it was picked off. I was wondering if they were thinking that the ball was intercepted by Steve.
I started my sophomore year. and we haven't beat Ursuline yet. So I'm really looking forward to this one to give them what they deserve here.
Each team is coming in perfect, with the Raiders demolishing each of its first 3 opponents.
Their defense hadn't given up a point, and that's concerning because they're so well coached and they're so fast. So we're going to have to hold on to the ball and try to make it a 4-quarter game.
You can bet for at least 4 quarters. You'll see some exciting running. 3 of the best backs in the state will suit up.
We saw is like a lot of people making plays on our team, putting up a lot of points, finding the end zone. And it seemed like they just helped me out a whole lot.
Clarett is a good player, and he's my friend and everything, too. So I think this is going to be a good show out for all 3 of us.
Delbert Ferguson rounds out the trio. He ran wild in last year's state title game.
They got a running game that most people would envy. Fortunately, we've got a pretty good one, too. So you know, I think that while I respect theirs, I mean, I'm pretty fond of my own. But
you're right. If we don't stop him, we're gonna be for a long night. But I like our 2 backs too. I think they present some problems that I'm sure they're worrying about a little bit.
They were SVC co-champs. They were a state champ. They had the best front 7 that we played against a year ago. They beat us. They're well coached. They're talented. Those are the kind of games that you get excited about.
Excited enough to know that there's no doubt this is our Friday night game of the week. This is Ken Slatz, First News on Fox.
1-2 punch in Ohio. Terrence Graves leads the Irish attack along with super soft Delbert Ferguson as the Irish look to repeat as state champions.
The underdog in this game, and we think we're a pretty good team. We think we're not at the peak of last year yet, but we think we're a pretty good team.
However, Warren Harding may have the top back in the state. Maurice Clarett is a threat to score every time he touches the ball. The future Buckeye is hoping to lead the Raiders to the state playoffs for the first time since 1990.
I just consider this another game, another team playing football another Friday night.
Are 2 backs better than 1? Find out next here on Fox 1762.
The Fox 7
rivalry each of the last 3 years and 7 of the last 10 meetings. And Clark again to throw. Into double coverage. It's going to be intercepted. Picked off by Danny Stella. He'll return it to the 16 where he is knocked down by Jimmy Riley. But Warren Harding with the first takeaway of the night. And for the Raiders, they have been outstanding, intercepting 8 passes this season. They're now a +10 in turnovers.
Yeah, you're going to see quarterback Daryl Clark throwing a fade route. Great coverage by the Harding defense there. Good job of Danny Stella, the safety, getting over to help out and making the pick.
Mike Hank to punt now for Warren Harding. He'll kick it to twin safeties. It will bounce and Riley will field it on a hop, and then he is nailed by Clarett. Not only can the kid run the ball, not only can he return the kicks, but he can also tackle.
Jim Tressel's got to like that next year.
That's impressive when a kid like that talented, can still play on the special teams.
And what's not.
So now it is 2nd down and 15 for the Irish. Fumble nearly occurred, and it did. And the Raiders say they've got it, and they do. The handoff was never fully grabbed by Delbert Ferguson. He lost possession, and Harding comes up with its 2nd turnover of the night. And for the Irish, they're now just a +2. They've now given it away 10 times this year.
On the other side of the field and gives the Raiders a short field to work with.
Clarett will be the ball carrier. Good 2nd effort. He'll drive down close to the 30. Terrence Graves in on the stop field. It's a give to Clarett. Running room off tackle. Finally hit by Terrence. So it is now 3rd down and 15 after the penalty assist against the Raiders. Toss sweep Clarett. Hit hard. He'll gain. Looks to be Brubaker, who got the brunt of Maurice Clarett on that run.
BYOB, I believe it's called. Be your own blocker, and there's a great example of that. And I'm sure.
And Phillips will throw. Under pressure. Dumps it off to Heron. Breaks 1 tackle. Has the 1st down. Looking for a touchdown. He's at the goal line and he's in. Touchdown Raiders. So for Mike Phillips, his first touchdown pass of the year. And for Dave Heron, his 4th touchdown of the season. His first after a reception. Here's a look at it again, guys. This was well designed, even though the Irish got some heat on Phillips.
Yeah, Urson's going to blitz number 52 off the edge. That's Bobby Schmaltz. Mike Phillips did a great job there, guys, of getting away from the pressure and dumping it off to his safety valve, Heron. And then Heron just got some open field.
And he gets it away. It will get away from Clarett, who finally chases it down into zone 31. Nice move. He is poetry in motion. Friday night. 1st and 10 for Harding. Clarett with running room. Burst of speed, free in the secondary. He is gone. No one's going to catch the kid. That is a touchdown, Raiders. Maurice Clarett's 10th rushing touchdown of the year. His 14th TD overall. It's a 54-yard gallop, and the Raiders have doubled up their lead.
Well, before we see the replay run, I think the first thing you got to do is just credit the offensive line, because that was another big hole for him to go through.
You know, coming into this season, I think one of the questions for Harding was the young offensive line. You know, and they're doing a great job tonight. And Maurice Clarett just really showcasing his speed. And a lot of times that's overlooked with him, is he's such a powerful runner, but he does have that type of speed.
Now with the ball at their own 39. They go back to the ground with Ferguson. Prescott Burgess there to make the stop. Ferguson crossed the 40, gets it over the 40. Again, he tries to kick it away from Clarett, who's not even back there this time. Instead, the ball picked up by Rob Masucci. And Masucci works a little magic. Irizarry, the punter, can't get him. But finally, Masucci taken out of bounds by Harding. Second man, Clarett. A lot of running room. It's going to be another foot race. Clarett has a convoy. Travis Stanford with the block. Clarett still on his feet. Jimmy Riley's not going to get him. It's another touchdown. The Raiders' Maurice Clarett takes it 89 yards for the score. That's his touchdown run of the year, eclipsing the 85-yard gallop he had earlier this season. Can you say starting tailback at Ohio State next year?
I tell you what, they might like to have him this year.
I'm speechless, guys. That's just unbelievable running. And when he gets into the open field, I mean, he's got the power to get through the first wave.
That's Travis Stanford taking the toss sweep, and he's going to get in easily. 2-point conversion is good, and Warren Harding has now gone on top 21. At the top of his game, watch this run. Outruns the camera for a moment. But after he gets by Keith Coleman, it's a foot race. And again, watch this little stock block. And actually it was Tremaine Warfield, number 17, who kind of gave Clarett a little bit of help to get on the sideline.
Well, Jimmy Riley's no slow guy, and he had the angle, and Clarett just beat him to the point there on the side.
So far tonight. His longest kick was his last, but this one's blocked. It will go straight up, and it'll be grabbed by the Raiders. Returning it will be number 44, Jonte Stroud, and Warren Harding continues to excel on its specialty teams. 24 to go in the second quarter. Toss sweep, Maurice Clarett hands it back to Steve Golden on the reverse. He's got a leader out front, Mikey Phillips. Golden inside the 10, dives to the end zone, and he's in. Touchdown, Raiders. So Steve Golden Jr., the 5'9", 153-pound senior, is added to the Raiders. Clark again to throw on second down. Fires complete to Irizarry. Nice grab. Prescott Burgess makes the stop defensively at the 45, but a first down and 10 for Ursuline. They'll snap it from their own 45. Clark's going to dump it off to Delbert Ferguson. Hit by a pair of Raiders and thrown to the ground and around the 40. Mike Detroit the 41. The sophomore to throw. Hit from behind. Ball knocked loose. If it's a fumble, the Raiders say they have recovered. Still loose, and now it's picked up by Prescott Burgess, who has already returned a fumble for a touchdown this year. He's got the ball in Ursuline territory. Kokel will return at quarterback. Play action pass. throws down the middle. Tremaine Warfield has the ball and turns it into a touchdown. Warfield beat Adam Chapman for the play.
Blocks.
1st and 10 from the 39. Give to Maurice Clarett. Clarett is loose again. Stays on his feet long enough to take the ball over the 50 into Ursula territory, where he is finally dragged. Phillips to throw. Lobs it for Warfield. Bobbles it, makes the catch. Tremaine Warfield made the grab over top of Adam Chapman, and that'll get Warren Harding of passes this year. 1st and 10, toss sweep Maurice Clarett, gonna cut across the grain. Here we go again. Clarett is loose. Chapman finally chops him down at around the 20 of Ursula, and that'll be a gain of 23 for Maurice Clarett.
Tackle on the play by number 20, Adam Chapman.
There's Clarett again. Good change of direction. He was able to make one-man miss. That's really all he needs.
First down and 10.
Well, it's like we've been saying all night. He's strong enough to shrug off the tackle attempt of a defensive lineman, and he outruns this.
Phillips to throw. Fires complete. Has Prescott Burgess at the 10, goes to the 5, and he is in. Touchdown Raiders. And Harding continues to impress. Mikey Phillips with his 2nd touchdown pass of the night. And for Prescott Burgess, his 1st touchdown reception of the season.
This is still their first Steel Valley game. You know, not too many times do teams go undefeated in the Steel Valley.
Pass intercepted. Mike Kokel, the receiver. Give again to Ferguson. Chopped down. So Clark to throw. Down the middle for Poindexter. Pass deflected, knocked away. Mike Kokel, who already has an interception, batted that pass.
In the future.
Delayed handoff, Delbert Ferguson. He's finally got some room to run. Across the 40 and then knocked down.
For Delbert Ferguson.
Pickup of 9 for the sophomore. He's really had. Back to the ground, Delbert Ferguson. He can smell the end zone at the 5. Bumped out just shy of the goal line, and there is a penalty flag as well. Horns 20. Clark steps up, throws, pass intercepted by Danny Stella of Warren Harding. The Raiders continue to keep the opponent out of the end. 1st and 10 from their own 22. Toss sweep Maurice Clarett. Turns the corner and then goes.
Toledo Whitmer, you got to get on a bus for 3 hours. You know, the key there is to be able to play at the same level.
Phillips throws complete to Prescott Burgess. 1st down complete. 4th quarter to get underway. The Raiders looking at a 2nd down in Irish territory, and Mike Phillips to throw. Sets up the screen and throws it complete to Mike Hank, who breaks 2 tackles. Hank is loose. Ooh. Nice block by Prescott Burgess. Hank's not the fastest guy in the world, but he's going to get it down to the 20 before he's...
petty jealousy or anything like that, which we don't see, obviously.
3rd down keeper. Mikey Phillips looking for the end zone. He too will get in. Touchdown Raiders. Mike Phillips, 2nd rushing touchdown of the year. And he has now thrown for 2 and run for 1. And, you know, we've got to decide on our player of the game. And obviously Maurice Clarett is an obvious bowler and an elder to try and compensate for the loss of that big series in this town. 1st down, Delbert Ferguson. This is what we've grown accustomed to seeing from the young sophomore, and then you're going to have a penalty flag as well. In just a minute, we'll tell you how you can order a copy of this game. I'm sure the Irish fans won't want one, but maybe Harding fans will. Delbert Ferguson with the handoff inside the 10. Knocked down on the play at around the 8. Richard Davis, one of the tacklers. It's been a wild one tonight. Clark will throw. Finds Ferguson on the screen, trying to get the 2-point conversion attempt, keeps trying and gets in.
Wow,
so Delbert, we still have to award our player of the game. Absolutely. Kokel quarterback draw on 3rd down. 1st down and more. Kokel is loose in the secondary and then bumped out of bounds by Delbert Ferguson at the Irish 44. 6 foot, 267-pound senior. Nelton Neal checks out. Back to the ground, Rob Masucci. You want to talk speed? How about Masucci? Masucci might go. He's got one man to beat, and they're not going to get him. Rob Masucci doesn't get many carries, but that one's good for a Raider touchdown.
Number 28.
How about a 94-yard touchdown run by Rob Masucci? That for
Harding.
It is 2nd down and 10. Give to Ferguson. Nice job of cutting back. Ferguson trying to add to his numbers. Just tripped up as he gets up. John Amin kicks off. Grabbed by Rob Masucci. He's got speed to burn. Somebody filled up his gas tank because he's still running. And he's still in bounds and finally knocked down from behind inside the Irish.
For discussion, but I hope the voters around the state realize when they cast their votes Sunday night, Monday morning, that Warren Harding was the number 3 ranked team in the state coming into this game. I hope they don't hold this, continue to garner the respect they deserve around the state.
Handoff again to Finnessy.
Vincent St. Mary looking good. What does LeBron James do? He can go up and get him. Just get it up high to him or throw it waist level, and he'll make the catch. 2 touchdown catches for him. St.
This week, now the state's top-ranked team can clinch a share of the title with a win tonight.
There's no question that experience has to be good for us. A game like that teaches a team far more than the blowouts that we've had earlier in the season.
Boardman's Evan Beard doesn't have to take a backseat to any of the top backs in the SVC. However, the Spartans feel that they have the right mix to win their 5th straight game this season.
Our strength is in our throwing and in the size of our offensive and defensive lines. We have to win this for the Steel Valley.
It's the speed of Harding versus the strength of Boardman, next on Fox 1762. They'll go to Maurice Clarett. Again, nursing that sore groin, doesn't show it there. 1st down carry, a pickup of just over 10, nearly 11.
Than what I expected from Harding at the beginning.
So a 1st down toss sweep to Maurice Clarett. Evan Beard giving chase. Clarett outruns him into Boardman territory, finally tripped up by Brian Weiser, but not until he gets inside. Toss back to Clarett, who wants to throw. Has a man open. Travis Stanford can't make the catch. And actually, that was number. And we've seen Steve Golden kind of work off of Clarett before with an end around. This time they go through the air a little bit more conventionally, and Mikey Phillips finds his man, Danny Stanford. Fake to Heron. Phillips will throw again, wide open. Clarett at the 5 makes the catch and gets in. Touchdown Raiders. Maurice Clarett's 17th touchdown this season, his 1st through the air. And for Mikey Phillips, his 4th touchdown pass of the season, and the Raiders again jump out of
the Harding staff. The series of plays that they ran here, again, they let me in on this one before the game that they were going to use the old swinging gate. They saw
opening possession when they began at the 20. This time they'll start at the 37. Toss sweep to Maurice Clarett. Runs around Evan Beard again. He's loose. Clarett may go. It's a foot race. Finnimore's the last guy to get him, and he won't touch him. Touchdown, Warren Harding. Maurice Clarett does it again. It's his 2nd touchdown of the night, and it's his 1st on the ground. And for Clarett, it's his 13th rushing touchdown of the season.
Hey, haven't we seen this before?
I think we have. Well, what a great run here, and a good job again. A nice play call. Boardman's got 9 guys within 6 yards of the ball, and they're just going to rely on his speed and ability. A simple little toss play, and he breaks 1 tackle, it's over.
And it goes for 63 yards. Is there anyone in the state better than Maurice Clarett when he's healthy?
Well, if there is, I'd love to see him. I tell you right now.
Another run from a stacked eye. Nowhere to run. Brad Beck, who's conference. They're giving up just under 39 yards a game on the ground, and Beck found that out the hard way. Now the shuffle pass to Evan Beard, and he'll be dragged down by Prescott Burgess, one of the best tacklers in the state. So on 2 plays, Boardman has now lost 1 yard.
And try to attack the flats.
This possession will start at the Spartans' 33, and now in at quarterback Mike Kokel. He'll throw and fire it complete to Clarett. No one along the far sideline, and Clarett will get in easily.
That's
Touchdown
unfair.
Raiders.
It's unfair.
This is just an absolute show. We've now seen the Raiders twice. We've seen Clarett do this twice. 7 opponents have seen him do this. And really, what does this say about Fitch and what they were able to do last week?
Yeah, absolutely. I had a chance to talk to the chances tonight.
Zetz will throw here on 2nd down and 8. Now pressured, steps up, eludes the rush, hit by Prescott Burgess, then sandwiched by Clayton Davis, and Zetz will go down right around the original line of scrimmage. A rough first quarter for the Spartans offensively. They had just 13 yards in quarter number 1 as a whole.
Then you got to tackle him once he catches the ball.
Well, that's what the other 10 guys are for.
There's the toss to Clarett, who lined up as the I-back.
There he goes.
Knifes through the defense, and it's another foot race. Evan Beard's not going to catch him. Updegrove's not going to catch him. Touchdown, Raiders. Maurice Clarett does it again. 67-yard touchdown run. The Kickers play into the second quarter. And this was a nice hole, and he followed Rob Heron through the gap.
You know, guys, that's almost unfair. I mean, that's a simple toss play, you know, and he's done it twice, and get some good blocking up front, and he was really virtually untouched, and then he's in the open field. It's over.
I guess 6 pass attempts. He'll throw again here on 3rd and 8. Zet's going to be pressured, fires, pass intercepted by Prescott Burgess. We've seen him take a fumble back for a touchdown. Now he's going to take an interception back for a touchdown. And the Raiders add insult to injury. They have now gone on top 35-2. Give to Brad Beck, stood up, won't get the first down. Demetrius Makritis in on the stop. So Mike Kokel is the quarterback, and he wants to throw. Down the middle, has a man, pass is caught. Danny Stella makes the grab. Mike Finnemore's got him and brings him down at the 30, but that's the big play that Warren Harding desperately needed. But now 3rd down and 9 for Harding. Dead handoff to Clarett. We saw him score on this against Moeller, and he's inside the 10, and he's inside the 5, and nearly scored again. Same play, football down to the Spartans, 2. It's a gain of 27 yards.
Yeah, Harding took advantage a little bit of Boardman's defense there with the counter play and a little bit of misdirection. The last couple of plays, they've basically been running right at him, and I'm sure that there's some.
Zetz will throw on 1st down. Slipped a little bit. Fires pass intercepted by Mike Hank. Picked it right out of midair, and the Raiders will get the ball. Palma with a line drive. Big bounce, grabbed by Clarett. Updegrove had him, couldn't hang on. Clarett trying to get around and hurdled over top of Brian Weiser before Chris O'Day. Looked like Jay Updegrove had him right there. Shed that tackle. Now watch this.
As he's stumbling, falling, and slipping.
That is something. That is something. 4-yard touchdown run that you saw by Beck, his 2nd score of the night. Kickoff return by Rob Masucci. Gets around O'Day. Masucci can go. He's got great speed. He's into Boardman territory.
Yeah, very nice tackle.
And downstairs. 3rd and 11 now for the Raiders. Kokel will throw. Fires complete to Prescott Burgess. Unable to get away. Throws. Christie, the tight end, tackled by Burgess at the 30.
Do a post out here.
Yep. Alexander pressured him. Pass to Miller. Rob Masucci will return the kickoff for Warren Harding. Shakes loose momentarily.
Handled the load a lot of that time, but I think that's where they get hurt. Their offensive line gets worn down a little bit in the second half.
Here's Clarett. Gets around Owen Evans. 1st down yardage. He is dazzling. Just dazzling to watch.
And like you just, it's a matter of adjusting to his speed. You just don't realize how fast he's going.
Well, he gains 15 there. Here's a look at it again. And they're just diving at his ankles trying to get him down. 1st and 10 for Warren Harding now. Franzinger, more running room, gets away from Burgess. And there's fullback. True, the lone setback behind Zepp. They go to Franzinger, and there's the play. Mike Hank is huge. That's a big do something to establish themselves. 4:09 to go in the 3rd quarter. Kokel to throw. Good play fake. Fires complete. Anthony Hoke with an outstanding grab. A big-time catch by the sophomore. It looked like the ball was stuck to him.
That was a bullet.
And they'll see another year of Kokel in that backfield. How about that one-handed stab? Carter Wheelo with the carry. Tackled quickly by Burgess at the 14
in the second quarter. After the one run that he had, he came out.
They fake to Johnson. Kokel to throw. Has Clarett
him.
open. Makes the catch at the 40. He's going to score. If he can make the corner, and he does. Raiders are now ready to tie the game. He had one man to beat. He was able to juke him and break loose.
Yeah, you know, I haven't seen it. They didn't throw it.
This one you thought the offense was struggling. Kokel goes up top to Clarett.
And I think they just sent him out of the back. He wasn't split out, was he? They sent him out of the back.
I think they may even have faked him initially there.
You know, and the move right here to get by Darnell Martimus is pretty impressive.
Yeah. That stiff arm comes at you. It's like a 2x4.
That's it. You just had to get the corner on him and just make the little turn. So in fact, Kokel has 2 touchdown passes tonight, but gives way here to Phillips, and they give to Clarett. Gets the corner, runs through one guy. Massey grabs him for dear life and brings him down after he crossed the 35. And you can see that little burst of speed as he tried to split the... After Dave Herron left after re-aggravating an injury. Here comes a reverse. Give to Prescott Burgess. Cuts it inside. Nice move. Can't get around. Phillips with time. Up. He bumped off his stride. Able to scramble free. Not going to get the first down. After the gain of 3 to the 19. Second down. Zepp to throw. Hank trying to give pressure. Pass down the middle. Burgess. Oh! Prescott Burgess nearly made the world.
If he would have brought that down.
Look at this.
But look at him go up in the air here. Look at that.
That almost nearly caught it. Wow. 12 remaining in the game.
Look, coming on the blitz.
Zepp throws, pass, intercepted by Rob Masucci of Harding. He can go the distance. Masucci is free and he'll score. Touchdown Raiders.
Right off.
Oh my. Yeah.
St. Vincent, St. Mary.
Boy, there's the pressure by Corey Tucker.
Yeah.
Look at the play.
Yeah.
Nice play.
And then just a great job here getting away from the defense. You know, he's a running back once he made the interception. He has great wheels.
That is incredible. They go back to Carter Wheelo. Stuffed at the line of scrimmage by Stephon Alexander. 10 carries, 56 yards.
Come on, Maurice, pick it up.
Clarett will get a chance to return it. He's got room. Clarett could go. Can he get by 2 more guys? Jeez, he had a chance.
Yes, he did.
Out to the 36. Warren Harding with his hands. And maybe the drop helped set up the blocking scheme. But he saw a gap.
Yeah.
A
little trip there, too, by the kicker. Yeah.
Stopped by Matt Waldeck eventually. Kokel to throw, fires complete to Clarett, bounces out of bounds at the 43, and just knocked Waldeck to the seat of his pants. One remaining, however. And we may have seen number 13 for the final time on the high school level.
Well, young man's had a great year.
Great career. He's the top rusher in all of Warren football history. Tonight alone, Maurice Clarett, 25 carries, 176 yards. It gives him 2,183 for the season. And for his career, Maurice Clarett now with 4,700 yards.
Wow.
And he has 57 touchdowns to his credit.
And a great history of running backs there in Columbus, Ohio. Is that what attracted you to the Buckeyes?
Yeah. My phone ringing right now. Somebody called me back home. But yeah, it attracted me. Great history of running backs. Coach Jim Tressel. We get the same kind of coaching Tommy does in my high school. And I just want to basically stick with the same kind of coach and, get the same thing out of what I got out of my head coach back home.
How come you're not playing today? It's a hamstring, right?
Yeah, I put my left hamstring. I practice, but work everything out. I start school Monday at Ohio State. And,
you start Monday?
Start Monday at 9:30. I got classes.
Monday? Are you studying? Do you even know what you got to be doing Monday?
I ain't sure. All of I got to show up.
Have you had a chance to meet with Archie Griffin, the premier Buckeye running back? I know he's very involved with the university.
I haven't had a chance to sit down with him and talk to him like that, but I met him a couple times, shook his hand and things like that. But as far as just being around him and having a discussion with him, I haven't really done it.
All right. Hey, thanks for your time. Enjoy the new year. And good luck with those classes Monday, man.
All right, thanks.
Maurice.
Harding, playing host to Cleveland South. Everybody looking at the Raiders and maybe their youth.
First for the young freshman, Maurice Clarett, wearing number 13. He is the first true freshman to start in the history of the Ohio State Buckeyes. Now keep in mind, when we talk to Jim Tressel, he knows that there's a lot of these kids, there's a lot of pressure. And he pointed out that when Chris Carter first took the field, he dropped his first pass as a Buckeye. When the only two-time Heisman Trophy winner Archie Griffin took the field, he left his helmet on the sideline. Now, he knows they're going to be nervous. There's high expectation. He's hoping they'll start with all of their equipment, but finish equally as well, Brad.
Maurice Clarett out of Harding High in Warren, Ohio. Everybody's Mr. Football in this state, parade All-American. He came to school here early, started in winter quarters so he could take part in spring practice, and as Swanee said, he starts his first game. It's never happened in Ohio State history before, and they're going to let him have it on the first carry. Clarett cuts outside, puts his head down and his shoulder and rumbles down back to the original line of scrimmage. So the first time the freshman touches it, he gets 5.
Not your average.
He's there. 3rd down and 8. Let's see if Krenzel puts it up. Off play action, he will. Maybe not. Scrambling, trying to find a man, and gets Clarett out in the flat, and he might have a first down. I think he does. Inside the 5, it's 1st and goal.
2 impressive things there, that Krenzel keeps it going, and then the true freshman, Clarett, has the presence of mind to stay alive. Let's take a look. Little play action on 3rd down, doesn't fool anybody. Coverage downfield. Now, Clarett is down there. Now he stays alive. He says, hey, you need some help? I wasn't the number 1 or 2 receiver, but here I am. I'll help.
Everybody loaded up. High backfield. Schnitger, the fullback. Krenzel's going to give it off to Clarett, and he's got not only a first down, he might have it all. Maurice Clarett, first big play of his Buckeye career, is a touchdown. Years old, 59 yards, touchdown.
He got some great blocking on the right side of that offensive line.
Back Maurice Clarett. Welcome to the Big Ten and big-time college football there, partner. Ohio State 14, Texas Tech. Set, and they both shift to the top of your screen. Here's a toss sweep. Clarett. Maurice goes across the... at the 30. Krenzel, draw play. Clarett broke 1 tackle. Here he goes again. Out to the 46. 16 more. You know, you can hear all the hype in the world, and you can even hear the coaches say he's going to be special, that he's unique. But Grease, you and I don't get a chance until he actually puts on the uniform and does stuff like this.
Exactly. And you know, we've seen a lot of freshmen have big high school numbers, and we never usually show high school numbers because you never know what the competition is like. But this kid's the real deal. Good. Yeah.
2nd down and 9. Krenzel, off play action. A lot of time. Found a man. Who else? Inside the 5 and down to the 4. 2nd time he's made a catch with feet. Clarett gets a handoff, cuts outside, and he got the first. He almost got the touchdown. There shows his strength. He just took a couple of Red Raiders.
Arm straight up in the air.
Here's Krenzel, swing pass, little screen to Clarett, and he got across midfield. Didn't get the first down at the 45 of Texas Tech. Again, the tight end on the move, and the handoff. Clarett, and he's in the open field. Goodbye, Maurice. Touchdown, Buckeyes. Much the same play as his first long one of 59. The freshman goes 45 yards for the touchdown.
I think it was very similar to the play he scored on, Brad.
Sure looked like it, didn't it?
Here it is. Here they're going to block down, and the guard and the offensive guard Stafford is going to come and kick out. Stafford, number 50, gets through the hole. Clarett follows him, says, I'm staying with my man, and he just outruns the safety. To throw it, he just didn't throw it hard enough.
2nd and 9 for the Buckeyes. Clarett got about 9. Over 150 yards for the freshman. You and Swanee said to Greg Krenzel, you guys could still have two-a-days. And he said, theoretically. Here's Clarett. And he's going to have another first down, it appears. Down to
making his first start ever.
Krenzel swings it at Clarett on a swing pass. Got a nice block. Put his head down, and he rumbles down to about the 8.
He's doing this very rare for a freshman.
Oh, it really is. To do it in a game like this against Texas Tech, his first college game, very special.
And
they know that if they give him a crease, he's going to make something happen, and that just makes him work extremely hard. It's great for the offensive line.
3rd and goal, touchdown. He's in. That's number 3.
To talk to your freshman, I
got to stay close and make sure that.
Maurice, I have to ask you, we had Archie down here. Give us your thoughts, what you were feeling going into this ball game, and as it unfolded, your confidence, did it just begin to grow?
I was real nervous at first because I knew we had to get off to a good start. And the pressure was kind of on. They're talking about me starting everything and just holding the position and everything like that. But after the first series, I just went out there relaxed and everything came along.
Okay, thank you very much. And Will Smith is right over here. Will.
Young man's performance against Texas Tech created unequaled expectations at the most exquisite spot. Legend is the word that comes to mind when you think of ball carrier in Buckeye land. Horvath, Janowitz, Hopalong, then Woody perfected the position called tailback, and Archie defined it. Then came Byers.
And he simply runs out of his shoe. He's running so fast.
And the ultimate, Eddie. Records, Heismans, and mythical performances. Does this kid know where he walks?
Maurice has been reminded of those legacies, just a few hundred times during the last couple.
The opener against Texas Tech, but they really kept it on the ground against Texas Tech, and his first pass is complete. And it's Maurice Clarett coming out of the backfield. And you look at the numbers in the red zone. They're perfect. 4 chances, 4 scores. Clarett with the cutback at the 5. He's down to the 2-yard line. And the Buckeyes are inside the 5 and knocking on the door.
That's what you talk about, brute power. You're talking about a 6', 230-pound back who lowers his shoulder when he gets ready to deliver the rope. Bang! Right there, and you run right through the tackles. That's
ball resting at the 2. And the give is to Clarett. Clarett powers his way in for the touchdown, and the Buckeyes are on the board first.
I'm talking about a guy, only a freshman, but he runs like a senior.
88 yards in the first quarter. 2nd and 1 again. Clarett will have the first down. Skips over the line of scrimmage down near the 20. Finally brought down by a host of tacklers. Do you ever Texas Tech? Boy, I'll tell you, young man shows up on campus early for spring practice. The first game, a lot of anticipation. Wondering what he'll do, and he explodes for 175 yards. Bricks was his best leader on the field last year, but he was a freshman. The older guys didn't want to listen to him. Clarett with the swing. Clarett dives close to the touchdown. He's in for the touchdown, his 2nd of the afternoon. Not only does he run, he flies, this guy.
He can run. He can jump. He can jump. What else you want him to do for you, ladies and gentlemen?
Well, over 100,000 fans and those watching on television just saw the guy fly into the end zone, and the Buckeye now behind Krenzel. As Al mentioned, yet to throw an incomplete ball. Clarett with the call, breaks to the outside, and he cuts it back in. Oh, he cuts on a dime. He's at the 25, dropped at the 21-yard line.
This guy's 230 pounds. He runs like he's 180.
Well, finally, Nate Wesley came up to stop him from the defensive end spot. Gain of 20 that time for Clarett.
Watch the footwork here. wow, I mean, he just has excellent quicks. I mean, his footwork for a big back like he is, to be that quick in the hole. Look at that. What's that move? Just all ability there.
Florida. So the Buckeyes are on the move. Clarett, the young freshman, inside the 30-yard line, puts his head down, shy of the 25. But one thing about that freshman, when he squares his shoulders, that shoulder's going down.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, and, you know, the thing is, I look at this kid, and I think, you know, he's a freshman, you know, just coming out, and I'm thinking, what did he do in high school? They must have only...
As a freshman, you know, that was an outstanding performance. You know, I can't wait to watch him as the season goes along.
A lot of people compare his work ethic to the work ethic that Eddie George had.
You know, he has great patience to be so young, and his acceleration and burst are phenomenal.
He's a full package, and when he's on the field and with the ball's in his hand, he's a force to be reckoned with.
I mean, as far as want to be known as the best, I want to be mentioned like with the Eddie Georges, the Archie Griffiths, the Robert Smiths. You know, I don't want to be another. I respect Eddie George a whole lot, but now I want him to set the bar, like, is he the next Maurice Clarett or things like that.
And we mentioned he's not exactly racked with self.
Curtin. Well, they tend to Rashawn Powers, Neal. We'll take a break.
Krenzel changing up. He has 3 wide in this package. Clarett into a hole. Down to the 26-yard line with Eric Coleman, the free safety, making the stop. Needed to reach the 28 for a first.
At all?
No, sir. Clarett into a hole. And that's 9 yards on first down that time, and you can just see the phenomenal talent of this young man from Youngstown.
The freshman is like physically by quarter number 4. He's getting a lot of carries.
And he got him in 2nd and 1 with that 9-yard run. Coming right back. The great ones like to have it in their hands, and there's the first down. Folks, that's a freshman. And he was carrying 3 white jerseys with him out to the 45-yard line, and that's why the crowd loves this young man. He exploded with 175. Tressel had an eye on him all along. So Tressel went to his high school. He watched every game from beginning to end and said not once was Maurice Clarett ever caught from behind. Folks, that is unbelievable.
All those little sophomores and juniors in high school, they couldn't tackle him. Don't feel so bad now, do they?
Exactly.
Yes, they have, fellas. Pretty good to be fanned on.
Krenzel running for his life. Not a known. And Clarett looking for daylight. Out to the 18-yard line.
Eventually you will do it.
He's in a tailback. He gets the first call. Slant. First down. Breaks free. He's got great speed. They got an angle on him, though. And they've got him at the 47-yard line. Eric Coleman, the free safety, over. But it's 44 yards for Clarett.
Well, we showed him blocking, but look what happens. Washington State brings the blitz from the wrong side. Watch this. Blitz from this side. Running play goes the other way. A perfect call right here. Virgil Williams comes from one side, and Eric Coleman, number 27, who playing safety, but he was a corner last year, so he had corner speed, or perhaps Clarett might have taken.
Searches for daylight. He was very patient. Good looking young running back. And there's Clarett, right side. He's got the angle. Breaks a tackle. Clarett out of bounds inside the 5-yard line. First and goal, Buckeyes. 20 more yards for Clarett, who is now over 100 yards. Oh, what a freshman sensation number 13 is.
At halftime, there was some question whether Ohio State would be able to run the ball. I think Clarett said to the guys, give me the ball. I'll show you I can run the ball against these DBs. We know you can cover. Can you tackle a 230-pound
to the youngster? First and goal inside the 5, and here he comes. End zone, touchdown. Now I can say it. woods with great speed. And on this drive, he really ran with determination, didn't he? Broke tackles, moved the pile. That's why he was the USA Today Offensive Player of the Year. I guess we've seen that here today, haven't we, folks?
Remember,
So the Buckeyes, terrific field position here. Clarett cuts off his block. It is hard for the I'm having enough trouble making hits on a third baseman. Here comes Clarett off the tackle, and that's a first down inside the 30-yard points, and they lead this one 18-7. And we get confirmation it was cramps. Clarett back on the field. Here he comes again. Have you seen a better freshman, ladies and gentlemen, than what we're watching here? Trufant makes the stop.
Goes throughout the course of the week. That's how Maurice Clarett was able to come back so quick off that cramp.
Yeah, Gary and Jack were trying those popsicles, and here comes Clarett, and very close to another first down. I think he got it. Yes, he did.
Let's take a look at Maurice Clarett here. A little scouting report. And first of all, that you notice about him, the guy is just big. 6 foot, 230, fast.
Here comes Clarett again. The Buckeyes doing a good job of also working on the clock. He slashes inside the 40-yard line.
6 seconds.
Krenzel's just watching the clock.
Yes.
A very smart young man, pre-med student we showed you. Now the handoff, and Clarett breaks a tackle, drives inside the 30-yard line before he's down, and Clarett could be headed for another 175-yard day here. At the conclusion of the game, we'll select a shot. Well, it's first and goal. Guess who's back? Touchdown, Maurice Clarett. His second touchdown of the game. A freshman growing up right in front of us.
Why this redshirt thing is beginning to be silly. They're paying for him. They might as well let him play.
The Buckeyes, as Clarett comes back, have already rushed in the game for 242, 190 of them in this half, and Clarett 180 for the game with both touchdowns, and this young man just won't stay off the field.
He wants the 200s. There's time to get 200. I think he's going to play a lot of games here for Ohio State, don't you think?
Yep. You're jumping up those charts. Setting sail after Robert Smith's freshman rushing record. And here he comes again on a great cutback to daylight. He's gone. Maurice Clarett, the DB, has got the angle, and a possible first-round draft choice. Marcus Trufant is the player who stopped him. And he's got his 200, ladies and gentlemen.
And if he didn't have
come out now to a huge ovation.
You know what? We were trying to ask the coaches yesterday, who does he remind you of? And nobody came up with a name, but I'm going to throw one out there. How about Herschel Walker?
Here comes Clarett, cuts off, breaks another tackle. He's to the 21-yard line, and ABC Sports presentation.
Good luck with you. We're back with Maurice Clarett. Maurice, congratulations. What an outstanding day for you.
Oh, thank you. It was a long day. The first half was kind of slow.
What made the change? What made the change?
The offensive line made the change. The offensive line and the fans.
How about a 230-plus yard day?
I'm just happy to be out here running for the team.
Is the pride of Ohio State back, Maurice?
We're getting it back there, and we want our respect. You got to give credit to the whole team, though.
Congratulations.
All right, thanks.
What a great performance. And to the winner and the champion come the interviews. Timeout.
And Clarett up 3 yards. And again, good blocking off the left side. Clarett, Randy, and watch 2 at the bottom. Krenzel. Outlets to Clarett to make a play. Breaks a tackle inside. Brandon Joe, the fullback, he'll be the hammer in the I formation. The give, Clarett. And he gets the first down on his own and a whole lot more. Hernandez-Jones one-on-one, and that wasn't fair. Clarett drove him 6 yards downfield to the first down.
Well, we talked about how much he can just move his legs and push the pile. Not a bad job by the Indiana defensive front. Not a big hole, but when Hernandez-Jones came up there, hit Clarett one-on-one, Clarett just keeps driving, and he's so strong, lowers his shoulder, and just keeps those legs moving and turns it into a 5 or 6 yard gain in points.
Second down. Brandon Joe in motion. Maurice Clarett started to the outside, takes it up the middle. Clarett inside the 5. Green, he goes in motion. Here's Clarett. Touchdown. Ben Hartsock, the tight end, in motion. Clarett going left. Following the block of Bishop. Maurice Clarett, the tailback. Ohio State at the 2 on first down. Clarett, touchdown. Virtually untouched. Behind the devastating block delivered. First down from the Hoosier 34. Krenzel rolling the other way. Now throws back the other way. He's got Clarett
there. It's a pretty strong option for the Buckeyes.
First and goal, 5th play of the drive. The give to Clarett. To the outside. Can he get the corner? Touchdown. The long reach to the goal line. He put the football right down on it. His 3rd touchdown of the day. 4-yard TD run. With time winding down to this first half. Take a look at it again, Randy.
Well, you can see Carter come up. He gets a good hold of him, pulls him down. There's the ball that gets reached out. Boy, looks like it's right on the line. If that, it was close. Just needs to be on the line. And you see Clarett, nothing in the middle. Immediately breaks to the outside and shows a good burst of acceleration. Pretty good open field tackle, though, by A.C. Carter. Just couldn't quite.
Buckeye 14. Maurice Clarett. Look out. Hernandez-Jones and A.C. Carter finally bring him down to the 37-yard line. First down in Indiana territory, and again it's Clarett. Watson stuck his nose. Maurice Clarett got a block from Bishop. Out of bounds after a short game. Buckeyes take over again beyond their 40-yard line to start a drive to the Ohio State 43. Rugged Maurice Clarett gets 7 out. Again, Clarett. Penalty marker down. Clarett down the right sidelines. Inside the 25. Penalty marker down back of the 50-yard line.
Clarett breaks through the hole. Take a look at this move. If you're coming up to, oh my gosh, that's A.C. Carter. That's a veteran guy that has seen a lot of back.
After the snap, coming from the 37 with Clarett. Cutting it back. Ryan Hamby in motion. Clarett easily with the first there. That to make sure he hears the call for down from Krenzel. It's his number. Bounces off the right side. Foot race. He's going to win it. And Ohio State back in front. Maurice Clarett on what?
Maurice Clarett is a really young guy. They'll split time, but he refused to say, Dave, just how they would split that time.
Clarett and the Buckeyes just keep grinding. And the chains keep moving. Clarett off the right side. Maurice Clarett has his 2nd touchdown.
Maurice Clarett, the Bulgarian touchdown, Ohio State to score.
That's the burst that we've been expecting to see and have not all night. That's really the first time he's put his nose across the line of scrimmage that he hasn't been immediately hit to the corner. We don't know what his foot speed is, but it's in that category of fast enough. Nobody ever seems to catch him.
4-9 Ohio State. It's a completely different Maurice Clarett. You just look at his face and you can tell things are going much better here in the second half.
Maybe the grinding out.
We took the SAT 1470. Juggled and caught by Clarett. And Clarett with some open field moves. Remember your SAT in this game too. On 2nd and 1. Clarett, the Buckeyes go 3 tight ends, I formation. Give it to Clarett, who dances into the secondary with a first down inside the 20. Clarett, breaking tackle.
That was looked like a good one.
Just trips, and it was a sprint out.
15 yards away from a touchdown. Go ahead.
He's still learning this game.
Started college a bit earlier than most people do. Fullback in the game now for the Bucs is Brandon Joe. This is Clarett running. Watching the way he reads defenses. He can stop on a dime and go. First and goal. Clarett looking for the end zone. It's an Ohio State touchdown. Loss wrong. Back in Illinois, he said we got the check and we cashed it after winning the game. Big hole for the Buckeyes and another first down. Maurice Clarett in the San Jose territory, and that stick by Grant.
They had the momentum. Now, I mean, San Jose did. Now Ohio State does. When you have a back like this, Clarett, who can cut back against the grain and run with power as well as speed.
Ohio State on 3rd and short. And here's Krenzel with the call. They'll run to the wide side of the field. Clarett has the first down. And they're at least for the Spartans and certainly for the Buckeyes. They move the ball. Looking for the end zone. Clarett, no problems there. Touchdown, Ohio State. As they get deeper into the Big Ten, more people in the box to defend the run. So that means Clarett's going to see 8 and 9 and maybe sometimes 10 guys. Mistakes.
Ooh, is he intense?
Here's Clarett looking for a hole and getting the first down.
Like that, I think John Madden put him in there.
Sure. Renzo looks for the end zone. Little drop off to Clarett. Oh. Leaps to the end zone. Touchdown. Wow.
Well, who said he was afraid to fly?
I did.
Maybe, you know, he's talking about he wants to be in control. Remember, he said that's a big idea about flying is control. Well, I guess he flew on that play, didn't he?
Yes, he did.
He had control of it.
For his 3rd touchdown of the afternoon. Over. Renzel to Clarett. Up and away.
Threw it all day with the football. He's getting some big plays downfield. That's the thing they missed last week.
And here's Clarett. Look out.
Look out.
He's got space. And cuts back and all the way up to midfield. Maurice Clarett, the super freshman out of Youngstown, Ohio.
Try to talk to Maurice Clarett as well if we can, but here we are, Clarett and Craig Krenzel. And guys, congratulations, Maurice. First of all, great performance today, 3 touchdowns. How does it feel to get the victory today?
I feel it's real good. Coming back from last week, had a bad week last week, and it just feels good to get confidence back under my belt.
Quarterback Krenzel, pretty good game coming up next week. Of course, you get back into the Big Ten season. How do you feel right now? How do you think the team is looking overall?
I think we're looking all right. We have a lot of improvement to do. I just can't wait to get back to practice. You know, so work on the things we need to work, study the film, and just get back to practice.
Well, you understand that you do not like to fly. You're getting so close to going out to Tempe, Arizona. Will you take a flight out there?
If it occurs.
Congratulations. Great win for you guys. All right. We'll take a quick timeout.
Ohio State Buckeye.
I'm not really concerned about what's going on in the media. I think things were blown way out of proportion. The question was asked in a different way. People really read the article, they'll find out what's really in the article. I'm not really worried about what's going on in the media world or what's worried about what's going on in the NFL. I'm worried about Ohio State and getting victories.
So stay tuned about that story. Because what about
Clarett gets the game's first carry. Huge hole on the left side. Cuts to the 40. 45 to midfield.
Brent Chain?
2nd down and 24. Here comes the young sensation. If he goes to the NFL, maybe he can travel with John Madden. Here's Clarett again. And the Buckeyes are first down. Clarett picks his way, barges inside the 10-yard line. Down and 10. Clarett cuts back in the hole. Jerome Pettis, one of the deep man. Clarett trying to help fire up the Buckeye troops over there on the far side. Clarett. Here's the hand. And Clarett ganged up on at the 27. 12 carries for 66 yards. Averaging 5.5, but remember his first carry of the game was for 25 yards. Here's Clarett, left side. He's inside the... Clarett bangs inside the 5 for a first down. It'll be first. There's that slow developing run play, and Clarett is down between the two, but Clarett has the lead right now. But his Buckeye defense is out there, and Chris Gamble, the ball, Craig Krenzel, there's a handoff now to Clarett, and he battles his way across the 45. Clarett battles for the first down after he was trapped. A very patient freshman running. Patient. Here's Clarett. Run wide. He'll stay in bounds. Good loss for the first down. That stops the clock. It hasn't been easy on the road for the Buckeyes against Cincinnati and today Wisconsin. This ball security now. Third down coming up for them.
Wisconsin's going to burn their last timeout right here. Ooh, he got stung.
Clarett looks like he got a stinger.
Yep.
So he goes. Oh, it looks like he's okay. That's a great. That's good. Maurice.
Good football player, but it's a little tougher against these.
Wide receiver, and here comes Clarett. Clarett short of the first down. Let's of 11. Coming back with Clarett. Stretching the defense, his best run of the game. He first down. And there's that draw play, and Clarett.
I'll tell you, Clarett is not
is the running back. He gets the call. There's an alley. Show power eye. They bring it.
Slide it again.
To the 30-yard line for the first down. Clarett steps away to the outside. He steps away. He rusher, but only 39 yards. First carry. Clarett cuts away. Good looking run here. And he powers his way. Clarett back in the game. And he seems to be picking up his tempo a little bit. And now he's hurt again. Now he's going off.
There it is.
And there is that nerve problem, the stinger, taking him off to the side, bending down in obvious pain.
You know when that thing's going to get better, Brent, don't you?
Off season.
Yep. That ain't
down. On the field for the first time in several weeks. One back. Krenzel will throw. Clarett missed his block. It's off to Clarett. They set the play beautifully. And he is run out of bounds for a first down. So Clarett, for a moment, looked like he fanned on a block, but it was a planned play. And they threw to the youngster who sprinted upfield.
And look what talent can do. After he catches the ball, goes great. And Clarett's going to come in your picture right here, block the young man Stevens, kind of wings him. Perfect play for the screen. Gets loose, but I watch a great player make another great player miss a tackle. That's what talent does. All of a sudden, those 3 yards
into the right. 2 wide outs out to the left. Here comes number 13. The hole is there. Jackson steps up along with Drake, and Clarett is bringing the crowd alive. And we go to New York at second down and short. Clarett to the middle, slashes free, 30, the difference maker, 20, 15. There it is. Look at the crowd, ladies and gentlemen. They know what a difference number 13 brings to this attack. That's a 29-yard burst now for Maurice Clarett.
He's the wild card in this team. Spread them out. All of a sudden, that offensive line that couldn't open up anybody has a guy that picks the blocks, and oftentimes it's the running back that gives that line the juice.
Pull back, they'll show power with a pair of tight ends. Here comes Ohio State muscle. Clarett for the touchdown. Can he get there? Yes. Jackson could not cut the freshman off. Shut it down. He was injured on the play. They are already a little bit beat up at the linebacking spot because Kaufman a few weeks back he was injured, and probably rusty as they come out here. First down. Here comes the young man. Clarett to daylight. Ceto Jr. can't bring him down.
Defensive back tackle.
Vance is out to the left. Clarett slips the corner that time. And have to change the sequencing of plays as they start off with Clarett, who twists and then slips at the 20 record holder. And here he comes. Bounces the play to the outside beautifully. To the 40. Down at the 43. Just as long as we've watched him this year. I know you've pointed it out several times. Clarett maintains his balance. Crosses the 40 up. Clarett on the field. Got a nice block. To the 15-yard line. Bucks with a second down. And their freshman Clarett breaks to daylight. Jackson wrestles him down, but not before he reaches the third. Fakes the handoff. Krenzel's going to throw it first down. Got a man wide open. It's Clarett. Out of bounds at the 6-yard line. Maurice Clarett, who is an outstanding pass receiver. That is for 25 yards. During the spring, Jim Tressel told us that Michael Doss could not defend him coming out of the backfield. That's how good he is.
Out and up, and watch Krenzel. He doesn't lead him. He's got him wide open, so he throws the ball right at him, and Clarett turns around and catches it with 2 hands right there looking at the ball. Perfect by the quarterback. Great call by Jim Tressel on first down.
29th Big Ten championship, and it is huge as Maurice Clarett, Jim Tressel and the Buckeyes were ahead to Arizona, where they'll play for all the Tostitos in the Fiesta Bowl.
Concert game, right? And we need to drive down there and get a touchdown. And so he stepped back to me. He said, "Reese, college football is the greatest. Don't you just love the crowd?" He like, "Look at these people around here." I'm like, "Man, we're trying to win the game."
Physical force is needed. Enter the Dragon, the symbol of Yang. Ignoring pain, providing tough yards, lobbying for the pass route that set up the game winner against Nemesis Michigan.
Yang.
They symbolize the wisdom and the will of their team. Opposite but equally essential. And on this journey to the brink of perfection, the icy vet and the fiery rook have provided balance and achieved harmony.
Ohio State, 19 years of age, 5'11", 230. When I was growing up, my nickname was Reese. When I was a kid playing football, I pretended to be Jim Brown. I chose Ohio State because it was close to home. My running style was I wanted to like try to run somebody on first and then run around on second. I got banged up a couple times this year, but that's how it goes in life of football. No chance of me going to the NFL next year. Hopefully in the future though. Big players make big plays in big games. That's all it's gonna come down to. When you're the underdog, people expect you to lose, so the only thing you do is fight.
Or the single back. He's got it. He's got a touchdown. Alex Stepanovic, the center, made it happen.
We talked about just how punishing a runner he can be and how decisive. Now this game is being taken over by Ohio State at the end of this first half. A great run by Clarett.
10 seconds remaining to play in the first half. And the Big Ten champions have taken the lead. Ohio State 14, Miami 7. To put down just short of the 32-yard line. Got it again, going to the outside. Broke the tackle, gets the first down. Gets up across the 40-yard line, and he stepped on the chalk at the 42. He ran out of the tackle of Maurice Sykes.
And this is all Maurice Clarett deciding he didn't like it this way. Then he came all the way across the backside of the formation. Here is Sykes right here. Watch the power with that straight arm. Just pushes Sykes to the ground. Best run of the night for Maurice Clarett right there.
Krenzel keeps it, throws it to the end zone, and it is picked off. Picked off by Sean Taylor. He threw it right to him.
He had double coverage on his intended receiver and no chance to get it there. And Clarett
has
took it
stolen
away
the ball.
from him.
Yes, he did, Keith. Maurice Clarett with the play of the game, perhaps, as Sean Taylor going down the sidelines, reminiscent of George Teague of Alabama stealing the ball from Miami a few years back.
Ball's in the wrong hand. It should have been in the other side, shouldn't it?
That's a great point, Keith. But did he really pull it away? The officials say yes, he did.
Close.
Krenzel trying to force this one. Great read by Taylor as he comes back to take the ball away from Hartsock, and then with the ball in his right hand exposes it to Maurice Clarett right there. And in the judgment of the officials, when they hit the ground, Clarett had more possession.
He was headed for the end zone, but watch George Teague come from behind, steal the ball, turn it, and go back the other way. And Alabama went on to win the ball game. Yeah, I guess they did. Barely. Second down and 5. Clarett gets loose again. He just kept pounding. First things first, you got to flip the coin to go through the procedure. And the two teams, and it's Maurice Clarett holding court on the sideline right now. So it is 1st and goal for Ohio State. They'll try to run it, and they're having a little problem with that early on. They get back.
Step slow.
Yep. 2nd down from the 5. Clarett. Touchdown.
The line of scrimmage and could not make the tackle as Clarett sidestepped him and accelerated through a huge hole and into the end zone. First guy missed. Well, the first guy is going to be number 36, Maurice Sykes. Fine job by Clark. There's the broken tackle. There's the touchdown for Ohio State. The down block is excellent by Ryan Hamby. And then Clarett staying low, keeping those legs driving, getting the 6 points.
And he's carrying about 227 pounds, 28 pounds when he goes in there slamming away. So he is a tough trip. It's 4th down, the final play, unless they can stick it in the end zone. Andre Johnson, Roscoe Parrish, and Kellen Winslow, and Dorsey under pressure throws it incomplete. The Buckeyes win. C. Grant was the man who pressured Dorsey, and now the party begins for the Ohio State Buckeyes. They are 14-0. And they are the national champions of college football.
And they did it their way, Keith, with defense. Right down to the very last play. Brilliant call by Mark D'Antonio, bringing the corner blitz, rather the linebacker off the corner, and C. Grant forcing Dorsey to put up a prayer.
The tough guy of the night, Krenzel. Craig, the championship, their first since 1968, a 14-0 season marked by one breathtaking finish after another, and tonight was the same thing. Defense, 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 and finally Clarett goes in for the winning touchdown in the second overtime, and 31-24 is your final score. So rest.
Very much, Maurice. A good job running the football tonight, but maybe the play of the game wasn't a run carrying the football, but going after the Miami player and stripping him of the football after he got the interception. Tell us what was going through your mind.
I just like to thank Coach Spence, because Coach Spence always talking about when somebody have the ball and you got to turn it to a defender, always try to strip the ball. And I just listened to Coach Spence and came through.
Tremendous job. Well, that will go down as probably one of the great plays in bowl history. Thank you very much. John?
hop plus blocks equals Scotland Rock, Tupac, and Biggie Smalls. I figure y'all niggas brawl for lack of protocol. Yep. Now I'ma take matters into my own hands, like masturbation. Another 39 suicidal rappers at Heaven's Gate. Waiting to battle with Satan, rat assassination, taking heads like a decapitation. Trapped in infatuation, really? Back up off, kiss my ass, then wake up and smell of coffee. See when you're broken unknown, your baby mama clown you, your family down, don't want your own kid around. You ain't shit, don't do shit, ain't gonna never be shit, so it's quit. 2 videos later, she on your dick. When your album's selling, she don't worry, be happy. Bragging to her friends, that's just my baby daddy. And sadly, niggas start acting like they shit don't stink. But wait, you getting cut like the wedding cake. The music biz is straight mafioso. Jewish, Italiano, and black. My BMI, ass cap, platinum plaque, rap trap. Bootleg my shit to Japan, they swap meets, sell my same shit back. Loan sharks break legs, we break beats, state to state. A record deal, that shit's along with a fucked up interest rate.
Music, please. Music, please. Music, please.
But handle your business.
Music, please.
Sorta like the label is the devil. R&B, pop, gospel to heavy metal. They get dough, pimping the ghetto. Label mate, different rat in the same rat way. The production company is the nigga that you learn to hate. Management is your crime, your lawyer is your liar. And when you're famous for Poe, you set your accountant's office on fire. It's like this, they loan you $1. For you just to break even, they stack 10. When you finally make $1, they profit as Andrew Jackson. When you skinny, they got plenty. The Benjamins, before you see any, they getting G's, big cheese. No Vaseline, fucking dope MCs. So freeze, call the police chief, it takes a thief. Here's everything you better know about the record industry, like a sheep. Cause labels is doing $300,000 deals, blowing coke smoke up my ass, but we both know crack kills. Not very many rappers ever seek a penny, but double platinum is 2 million units. CDs cost 20. Too true. So here's a clue, somebody just made $40 million, and it sure wasn't you, nigga.
Music, please. Music, please.
Come on. Yeah.
Like that. Music, please.
Yeah. But handle your business.
Music, please.
Come on. Stop worried about mine.
Music, please.
Handle your business. Wanna know the relation between hip-hop and drugs? Cause professional athletes, black actors, rappers, and thugs all sleep in the same bed together. Rich niggas only kick it with other black people with cheddar. Same lifestyle, legal or illegal. They be up swinging a 3-fuck, getting skied up at peanuts, which leads up to this, a high turnover ratio. Groupies turn tricks and be quick to get fellatio. MCs get the pussy and fame. Records execs floss with a corporate car and charge it to the rapper's name. But the label owners make all the real money. Just ask David Geffen, Barry Gordy, Russell, or Puff Ching. In business, you don't get what you deserve, you get what you negotiate. And everything is renegotiable, based on the sales you generate. But hip-hop fans don't buy albums, and then again tend to play a hate. The rapper that went pop, but before this I never knew. Skills don't pay the motherfucking bills, money do. Is you stupid? How nice I represent, don't pay rent. The R&B hoe that Jock Theo on the radio, buy your CD though. Rap magazines be screaming and keep it real, but keep the fake on the cover. Full of tennis shoe and clothing advertising. No wonder, like Common, I used to love her. Now I just fuck her with 2 rubbers.